the recent trips of Mr. Modi to the vaccine factories. So over to you, if you can talk about that, and
Yeah.
I will
So
allow you to share your screen.
no, you can keep it on me. I will not share the screen right now, but I will read out something because the
Okay.
terms are quite difficult to remember. But
Hmm.
yeah, the issue that today Modi had a trip, in his new squonky Air Force One equivalent plane from to
Hmm.
Gujarat and then to
Hmm.
Hyderabad. He visited two of the companies that are developing the
Hmm.
vaccine for. So yeah, he visited Zydus Cadilla's manufacturing facility in Ahmedabad, and he spent
Hmm.
an hour there and to monitor the progress of the vaccine development. And then he flew to Hyderabad, where to
Hmm.
Bharat Biotech, which is developing the
Hmm.
vaccine in with collaboration with Serum India. Now, the
Hmm.
question that we know mainstream media is asking the government:
Hmm.
why does Modi, during a pandemic, have to fly from Delhi to
Hmm.
Ahmedabad to Hyderabad and back to Delhi, just to monitor? This is now Narendra Modi is not an ordinary man. He's a man who has asked a scientist whether
Hmm.
they can modify a windmill to absorb water, to
Hmm.
generate water from the air, and who admired somebody for generating biogas from sewage by covering it with a vessel.
Hmm.
So we have such.
Hmm.
This is that kind of a man, and what competence does he have to actually go personally? I understand if he's sending his team or his health minister or some experts to monitor, but he personally
Hmm.
is going there wearing a PPE kit himself and going inside. I mean, good lord. Uh, what kind of a guy is he? He just wants photographs. But anyways, it's not just him traveling there. There are logistical issues. There are people who have to go beforehand, check the security of the facility. These are security, the commandos
Hmm.
and the Z plus security.
Hmm.
They have to go there. Then you have
Hmm.
his other bureaucrats who have to visit these facilities to make sure whatever protocols are followed. So there are a lot of people who
Hmm.
have to travel before and during the and after the visit. And there's a probability that these people are going to spread or carry the vaccine, carry the virus and spread it. It's absolutely
Yes.
disastrous that it's dangerous that he did that. And although all the news channels are reporting his visit, nobody is asking this question. There are at least 50 people on his staff who have to travel with him and before and after him to ensure that all the protocols are in place for his visit. Now, uh,
Hmm.
the why did he visit these two companies? Both these companies are private companies. One of them,
Hmm.
that is
Hmm.
Zydus, is developing this vaccine with Oxford, Oxford
Hmm.
University, and they recently have
Hmm.
been in controversy over the efficacy, the efficiency or of this virus. They gave it
Hmm.
has to be given in two doses a few days apart, and people who got two doses
Hmm.
got just 70% efficacy. The rest 30% it did not work, and people who and by mistake they
Hmm.
gave half dose and then one dose, and those people got 90% efficacy. So
Hmm.
the CEO of the company mentioned that it was a error, and even Dr. Fauci, who's a world-renowned virologist, who's heading this COVID thing in US, he questioned
Hmm.
why fund the whole purpose of this particular company developing the virus when the efficacy is below 70%. It's not even 70%. So, because for a community to be for the virus not to spread, you need to achieve more than 70% herd immunity. Means more than 70% have to be immunized. And if you give everyone the vaccine, I know less than 70% have immunity, it won't work. So it's basically a failure. But our PM is trying to promote this particular company. And the second company
Hmm.
he visited is this Bharat Biotech, which had a fatality during the
Hmm.
phase one trials in August. A person died. Now he
Hmm.
might not have died because of the vaccine or because of the virus, but there was no news about it. The company claimed they reported it to the authorities the very next day, but there was no statement done by the government or anyone else in the public. And this can only mean it's because of the Bihar election. They didn't want any bad news regarding this virus, because the PM was promising the virus on 15th of August, which didn't happen. And then he promised the people of Bihar free vaccines. So this vaccine, yeah. So
Interesting slip
because
over.
yeah, slip over. So basically, Bharat Biotech is developing this thing. Of course, Bharat Biotech was given this because they have the biosafety level 3 facility. And a little corporate background of this is that they have been given the institute. There's a 600 crores institute for developing vaccines, was set up by the government. This company, Bharat Biotech, is going to take over that particular institute, and this is how corporate works. Why that institute was set up? Because the previous government, the UPA government, wanted India to be self-sufficient in terms of developing vaccines, a low-cost doses, wherein companies would not think of profits. So this institute would develop it, but it was sabotaged all these years, and now it's being sold off to Bharat Biotech. It's obvious that
Absolutely.
somebody is
And I
getting
would
paid commission. It's obvious that somebody is going to be paid commission from the development of this virus, from the development of this vaccine, and that is why instead of focusing on procuring vaccines that are being developed that have more than 90% efficacy, PM Modi is spending his days visiting these private companies in India. So yeah, that's another example of nexus between private corporates and government.
I would like to just interject, Avinash, and add over here is that, we were also discussing this issue earlier. There is the approach which previous governments have had of setting up institutes and, proactively preparing for any future outbreaks like this. An end moment dash and scrambling for profits by private entities, which is healthcare is a fundamental right. Getting a vaccine is a fundamental right during a pandemic. Nobody should be making profits upwards of 25% on a vaccine when millions of people are affected. So many have died. And this being, I think it's a very disgusting, kind of facilitation of private entities at time which requires a lot of sensitivity and understanding of what people are going through and their healthcare requirements rather than the profits of the few.
Absolutely. The development of the vaccines cannot be for profit. It cannot be for political one-upmanship. It has to be done in a well thought of way. It cannot be rushed in any way. Otherwise, you're going to have people dying. It cannot be a PR stunt. We are seeing a lot of VIPs getting vaccines, including eminent doctors. This is not given to them for their safety. It's just given to them as a PR stunt. A particular doctor, the son of the North Goa MP, got it. Ironically, he's the Ayush minister's son. So instead of getting an Ayurvedic vaccine, he's getting a vaccine made by modern medicine. Kind of questions why we are spending hundreds of crores on rupees on this kind of snake oil ministries. But this VIP culture of showing off that look, we are developing the vaccine and I'm getting the first dose, even though it might be trial, but I'm getting a dose. That will create a lot of mistrust in the government. It will create a lot of confusion in terms of it, and what happens. The government is not yet clear whether they will give everyone a free dose. That's the problem. They are promising certain states free dose, but the government has not yet made it clear that everyone will get a free dose of this vaccine. Until that happens, all this is all PR. It's all done for elections. It's all done for creating a public image, and that is going to cost lives. Because when the people of India see a prime minister roaming freely from one place to the other, maybe in a flight, everyone will say, what is there if I go for if I travel like that? I'll just wear a mask like the PM. Because you don't see what
mm,
the amount of preparation done for his visits beforehand and afterwards. But ordinary citizens will try to say, look, he's doing it. What is there for us to do it? And that is exactly what is happening.
mm,
The government holds meetings and
absolutely.
parties and big and the people emulate it, and now that is why we are having a second and third wave in this country, because our leaders are not serious about this virus.
Absolutely. We see no seriousness or any kind of compassion or courtesy to the citizens of India.